Good morning, I'm Kevin Price. Welcome to today's program, The Price of Business. Delighted to be with you and have a lot to cover, as always, on today's program. The one and only Paul Carroll, my good friend with Efficient Wealth Management. He's a contributor on The Price of Business. We've got him lined up today. Paul, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great, Kevin. Good morning.
Tell us real quickly about the great work you're doing over at Efficient Wealth Management. I love your firm. I really consider you a thought leader in the financial arena. Tell us about Efficient Wealth Management and what you want the listeners to know.
Well, sure. Good morning, Kevin. And Efficient Wealth Management, briefly, is a boutique wealth management firm. We're based here in the Woodlands, Texas. And working with a team of experts using a consultative approach, we're helping our clients protect their wealth, mitigate their taxes, take care of their heirs, protect their assets from being unjustly taken, and for those who it matters, we're also very good at charitable planning. And today, we're bringing with us Larry Fennell, who's the president of Ameritex.
Larry, welcome to the program. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization.
Great, Kevin. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Ameritex is a third-generation family-owned business, and we are a contract manufacturer of fabricated metal products. We do not have a product that we make and sell of our own. We make metal products for other manufacturers that take our products and assemble them into whatever they build. So we are basically a custom manufacturer of metal products.
What is your website, by the way?
It is AmeritexLLC.com.
Very good. Paul, go right ahead.
So that's AmeritexLLC.com. Well, Kevin, I've actually seen some of the equipment that these guys use. I was in California with one of the executives while they were looking at some equipment that he purchased, and it's pretty fascinating stuff. This is huge flatbed of steel or sheet metal that goes through, and a laser is cutting precision parts with phenomenal speed. Larry, can you describe that a little bit more? Because I think it's, if you can paint a picture, really fascinating equipment you use.
Yeah, the strategy we've used is investing in technology, and for fabricating metal, what 20 years ago literally had to be done with a saw is now done with a laser beam, and we draw the parts in SolidWorks, which is a three-dimensional CAD program, and anything you can draw, we can take out to the laser and immediately cut it out of an amazing range of materials, from thin, as thin as your fingernail, up to over an inch thick on the same machine. There's no tooling changes. It'll cut any shape or size of part almost instantaneously. So it's an amazingly versatile and accurate piece of equipment, and we have 4 of those machines.
I think that's fantastic, and you're really kind of providing the material in the way it needs to be provided to American manufacturing. That's kind of a neat thing for a company to be all about.
Yes, that's true, and a lot of the parts that we make, when they're made in much, much higher volumes, the business may go out to China or someplace with very cheap labor, but the laser machine allows us to do quicker turnarounds and a lot more versatility than having to go overseas to get parts.
Yeah, I love it. Go right ahead there, Paul.
And of course, these parts are very highly custom. I understand they do a lot of work for the energy industry, drilling equipment, stuff like that. Is that correct, Larry?
That's true. The hydraulic fracturing business is a large part of what we do. Probably 50% of the parts I make every day end up on these fracturing machines. Stewart & Stevenson locally is one of our largest customers, and that's what they do. They build these machines for Halliburton and Weatherford and people like that, and they have to get the parts from somewhere, and most of them they get locally from people like us.
I'm assuming, so 50% just for that one area of energy. What percentage of your total business is energy related?
Probably 85 to 90%. We do try to diversify into other things because of the cyclical nature of the energy business, but I mean, we are in Houston, and that's where the money is. Oil and
certainly
gas.
Makes sense. Go right ahead there, Paul.
Yeah, Willie Sutton, when asked why he robbed banks, told the interviewer, well, that's where the money is. And that pretty much says it all. Hey, so there's a new technology coming around the corner. You're dealing with very high-value, high-quality parts there's this new technology called additive manufacturing, which in essence is using CAD/CAM software, laser, and powdered metals to, in essence, create a printer that can print parts. How does that affect your business, and are you going to be adopting that kind of technology?
We very well may. You know, the machines they're making today are cutting edge, and the technology, like everything, is progressing rapidly. Right now, we do not see the cost versus benefit is a little, the cost is a little too high, but where I make flat two-dimensional parts very quickly and then we have to bend them up, that machine makes three-dimensional parts very similar to what we do. So it is definitely something that's on our radar, and we're looking very closely at it.
That's very cool. Give your website one more time.
www.ameritexllc.com.
Excellent. Paul?
Hey, thanks so much. That's just fascinating information. I'm very, very interested in how additive manufacturing is going to change the world. Anyone who owns a classic car knows how hard it is to get a replacement carburetor. With this technology, things like that literally can be printed to order, and I think it's going to be very interesting where both this and the laser type technology that Larry's firm is using. It's super interesting stuff. And in America, where labor is not as cheap as China, this is where we make money, is high value added manufacturing.
Hey, no question about that. You know, there's no doubt that in the intellectual sphere, in the intellectual capital sphere, the U.S. can continue to dominate, and this is really cool. I am curious, Larry, have you had anyone request something as esoteric as what Paul just alluded to? You know, that carburetor that had been built in 20 or 30 years, you know, even for, parts for vehicles that have been around. Has anyone asked for anything like that?
Yes, and I have done similar things. Of course, a carburetor is a complex three-dimensional shape that he's speaking of, but I have made a lot of old replacement parts where somebody has brought me a drawing of a part, whether it was for an automobile or more often it's a tractor or something like that from the 40s, and I can duplicate it just from the drawing. I can basically make anything like that.
What a great story. I love it. Larry Fennell, he's president of Ameritex. That's AMERITEXLLC.com. And, of course, Paul Carroll, he's a contributor here on The Price of Business, bringing us a lot of fascinating stories. He's at EfficientWealthManagement.com. He's also making a tremendous difference in the lives of his clients. Thanks to both of you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
A lot of fun. Enjoyed it. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at USCityReview.com. I'm Kevin Price. This is The Price of Business.